Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadowand Sun Show, and welcome to your Wednesday morning edition of Second Breakfast. How's everybody out there in TV land? I am experiencing some technical difficulties on YouTube and StreamYard. They're being weird this morning. My morning videos have been late both mornings because of them. I upload them. They say they're uploaded, and then when the morning rolls around, they say, "Oh, it's not done uploading." So I don't know. And then Restream here didn't want to go live because after I clicked the channels, it said I didn't click the channels and didn't give you guys any notice. But you guys know I'll be here Monday through Friday, and if not, I'll leave a community post over on YouTube letting you know more or less why I won't make it. Unless I just say space, which probably won't happen. But hope you guys are doing okay out there. I am working on some new terrain. I got these monoliths, and I'm gonna actually show off this company later. I didn't bring up the information, but they're I think it's called scatterterrain.com, all one word. And I wanted to make them look very like Necron-ish, but ancient and glowing and green, and uh, kind of see what I'm going for. Uh, Trying to kind of get a little OSL. This is the original Tesseract green with what is that? Data system glow for the cracks, and then I just go over it with a good old fashioned ivory to make it look like it's actually the stone. Hey, what's up, Shellback? And then I got this piece, which I'm kind of almost done with because it's pretty simple. But I thought, it's a real small piece, but I'm like, this would be a great little display piece to put, like a couple of vampires up here looking down, or whatever. Just kind of like a display piece, just to have minis on. Both of these were like $9 for the 3D prints plus $5 shipping. Got here pretty quick. Got a couple of little extras. As a matter of fact, where is that? It's right here. Oh, even the big ones here too. Oh, this is my favorite. This entrance that came with the pillars, I'm going to make it look like an old, oh, I missed a spot. I mean, like an old Necron tomb or something like that. Or just, green glowing skeletons. And then this weird sort of beehive. Thanks, Shellback. It came with this sort of beehive and a little clump of flowers with a giant bee, like a murder hornet or something. And these were like the free things they sent me. Oh, and here it is. Here's all the info. Because they sent a couple other little freebies, little things to just show off a sticker, scatterterrain.com. But then there was this 3D printed, which is kind of cool because it's two colors, but does that glow in the dark? That would have been great if it glowed in the dark. I'd be their bestest friend. But it's just a little token. But on the opposite side, it says opponent is stunned for one turn. Pass to the player on the right. So you get like a stun token. It's like here. When you use it, you hand it off. Hey, what's up, George? And then a discount code on one side. I'm not going to show that because you guys don't really. I don't have permission to give out the code. I think it's like after your first purchase, they'll send you this, but it's a 25% off code. That's nothing to sneeze at. Normally companies think like 10%, 5% is a big deal, and it's not. It's like not even giving a discount, in my opinion. But this one's 25%. But on the other side, this is awesome. It's a bookmark of the thieving scoundrel. So I'm going to use that in every book I ever read. It's +1 to detect dexterity check, +2 if stolen directly from the game master. Pass to the player on the right. That's freaking. Oh my god, these guys are thieving scoundrels after my own heart. Good on you guys. I'm going to do a video all about these guys later after I get in touch with them. But free stuff, really, really cool 3D terrain. And this is like the cheapest stuff. I mean, not the cheapest stuff. They've got some $2 pieces. They've got some $4 miniatures, a whole lot of ducks. If you're looking for like duck magic users and duck priests and warriors, Dave got more ducks than I've ever seen. And I saw one duck. It was like, I could play that. Um, but this piece with, I don't know if this was separate or if it came with the I think it came with the columns, and it might have been $12, but uh, these were some of the cheaper ones. They've got a bunch of, you know, price ranges all the way up to like just under $100, but some big, bigger, scatter terrain. Not really uh, dungeon stuff, although they do have some like walls and doorways and things like that, kind of like their own little set of modular D&D walls and sets like that. But they've got some boats, they've got towers. Oh my god, they've got some great towers. A couple of them are playable on the inside. Some of them are just scatter terrain, but look nice. Houses, ruins aplenty. Uh, no, actually, Shellback. That goes back farther to, I believe, RuneQuest is actually the originators of that. But Heritage and Minifigs had duck, as well as Archive, had duck characters going all the way back to the mid '70s, and I have a Duck Vader or Duck Wader, but imagine a Darth Vader duck. I've got a duck version of Conan the Barbarian, and a bunch of other great duck miniatures. I never played one, but I do have this game called Quactica, which is, I kid you not, the book is about this big. It's this tiny little um, sort of a war game with anthropomorphic races of animals that fight each other, the ducks, the pigs, the cats, the squirrels, that sort of thing. And I'll find that. I think it's over there, and show that off. But it goes back quite a ways, and then Dragonbane brought it back because people still love it. Um, I think I have Cormac McDuck as well, and just a bunch of different, you know, mostly archive duck characters. Maybe I have about a half a dozen of them, but I also have, which is even rarer, is a set of Cerebus the Aardvark. For those of you who remember Cerebus, give me a thumbs up there, will you? I absolutely love that comic book. I've got the first three omnibuses, which were, or phone books as they were called back in the day, which were the original, the very first omnibuses. And Dave Sim, the guy who wrote and drew everything except the backgrounds, just absolutely amazing work. There was that little instance where he was doing something that might have been bad, but I kind of think that it was uh, not as bad as they make it sound. But at the same time, he himself said he was a rat bastard, so we'll have to look into it. And there's not much left to look into. I remember as a kid being sad that I couldn't find any more Darkwing Duck or Duck Rogers. I'm pretty sure it's available on DVD. And if it's not, I know the comic books exist, and I have some Darkwing Duck comic books. I don't know why I didn't buy them, but they're in my collection. I think they might have actually belonged to an ex girlfriend and just magically ended up in my collection. So, you know, but I've also got like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast comic books in my collection because of the same person. So, and I think I gave away my ex girlfriend's Bananarama CD, or maybe I threw it out. I don't remember. No, I think someone actually got that from the giveaway, right? I don't know if you were the one who got it. Give me a shout out, and we can laugh about that together because yeah, that was a band. Yeah, it was a thing. And if you say you couldn't stand them, I don't believe you didn't still leave the video on. Just turn down the volume because it was the '80s and things were different. So what I'm doing now is I'm going over this particular model with this data system glow and just hitting the cracks. where I can. Like I just did that one crack right there on the floor. You can kind of see it. Just to bring out that glow a little more, to make it look like some sort of Necron energy is leaking out. I'm actually very tempted to hit this up with some glow in the dark, either dry brush or spray paint, because I have both. And you guys know how I love me some things that glow in the dark, and just see if I can't really make this thing crazy looking. Um, I actually have an idea for a dungeon, if you will, to actually use it. But I'm still looking for players for my espionage themed RPG. Uh, Ray Cheetah gave me such a boost of inspiration for that. But as of yet, I've only got 2 or 3 players, and I need a few more folks to make that a viable campaign. Using AD&D rules, I know, like, why AD&D? It's like because I want to make it fast and simple for me. For the players, it couldn't be simpler unless you were running, what is it, white box. Maybe BX, but BX has got a lot of things and a lot of stuff I just don't like about it. So there's that. Plus, I don't have it. I have the rules cyclopedia, but it's a hot mess. Pages are weirdly put together. It's just like it's literally like a hardcover book that my version has page one, then it'll go to like page 50, and then page one again, and no table of contents. And if it did, how would it matter? Because there's 3 or 4 or 6 pages with the same number on it. So how does that make any sense? But it was from drive through, so maybe they just slap together some photocopies. Hey, what's up, Dean? How you doing, man? I'm just doing a little not so serious painting here, because I just got this in the mail, and I know I should be working on some other stuff on my table, but terrain is always one of those things that when I get it, I'm like, oh, I can do that quick. It's not going to take me a long time, and then I'll bang it out like I did with those Star Wars pieces a while back. Those were a lot of fun. Took me a couple of days, and I felt like I had done something, painted a bunch of pieces to my liking very quickly, and it was like, okay, cool, done. I don't know if you can see the green starting to take shape there. It's kind of a lot of glare. Let me put it up closer. There you go. Just to make it, I don't know. I've got this. The thief is a mess. Pass BX. I'm not certain what that means, Dean. Maybe you could elaborate for the rest of the class. Honestly, I think the best thief was more or less second edition, with the ability to decide and determine where your improvement points went in, you know, like your thieving abilities. Like if you wanted to be a really good pickpocket, you could focus on that. If you wanted to be, your traditional find, remove traps, open locks guy, you could do that. If you wanted to focus on, climbing walls, yeah, people really get upset when you paint them. So, terrain and vehicles is probably a lot easier. Uh, Making hot dogs on my electric grill, it's unfortunately hot weather for the regular grilling. Uh, I'm getting a little hibachi so I can do just that. So I can grill like 2 burgers outside on a table where I can sit down and not have to stand over the fire. And I've had hot dogs 2 nights this week because of that exact reason. It's like I am not heating up the house. It's 90 degrees inside and 100 and something outside, even with the AC trying to compensate, and I'm like, I don't even feel like eating, so I'm just going to make a hot dog and go about my regularly scheduled evening, which last night was Blood Wars game. Uh, the night before that was Bubba's game, and tonight I have no game, although I'm thinking that that's the night that I'll be running my espionage game because I don't like painting organics. Uh, yeah, people are hard. People are very, very hard. I'm working on a couple of miniatures here. Okay, I'll show off the other one that I actually like. This little lady of the evening. I really like the way the color of her outfit turned out. Even using the like sort of uh, it's like fairy dust or something like that. It's a pearlized color for her stockings, but the orange actually really pops. Whereas it was fine. Wait, hold on. I think Dean means after the BX levels 1 to 14 compared to 15 plus. Basically, you spread out the percentile over all of the 36 level, so the spread gets too big. Where it was fine in BX, yeah, it was kind of weird in AD&D. In your basic AD&D, everybody had the same numbers, of course, except you got a bonus if you had a bonus for Dex or Race. What's up, Vic? It was that's exactly uh, the idea. She's a streetwalker, so she's ready for something. But then I've got it came with three, and then the girl that everybody's met. Everybody knows this girl. I don't know who she is. Pink haired, freaking torn up blue jeans and a tube top, and some tiny little purse that's barely big enough for her cell phone, and some crappy lifts or whatever they call them. But then I got this lady, just all full of herself, just like Uh, this one I think I really kind of knocked it out of the park as well with the color scheme for her. Just I've seen her on the street as well, um, but then to contrast that, something a little more classy. Uh, Sleeping Beauty. Let's put it that way. So kind of she's just chilling, unconscious, roofied. I don't know, and then Tarzan. All of those are Reaper metal minis. I got all of them for the 3 pack was $10. The Sleeping Beauty was like $10 as well, but it's kind of a heavy, thick model. And then all the rest were like $4 or $5 for uh, Tarzan and whatever's Monkey Pal. They call him a monkey or chimpanzee familiar. This was like $5 metal on eBay because eBay sellers have had these for forever, and they're just trying to dump them. And I'm like, I'll take them. Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, I bought not one, not two, but 3 lots of Reaper medals, all with stuff I wanted, including all these great. I got like 3 blister packs of really great pumpkin and jack o' lanterns and pumpkin horrors, as they call them. But a total of 10 packs, although 1 pack was just this cheesy little fireball thing, which I'm like, I might need it. But it did include this really kick-ass troll, this really, really cool air elemental looking dude. But it also came with yet another one of these, which are really the Blue Oyster Cultist guy. These guys are really hard to find, but it came with one. I'm like, cool. And then 2 of these brain dudes, which I haven't even primered yet. Um, and some of these little horror guys, which I love. This was 1 pack, but it had these 3 little dudes in it. And there's the orange guy. I'm just gonna make. I'm not. I haven't decided whether I want to put them on like one larger base. I'm probably gonna go with individual bases, and then a whole bunch of these little Halloween familiars, and each were all like different blister packs. So werewolf with a pumpkin, a little dark angel-y looking chick, but 10 different blister packs, all of which would have been 6, 7, $8 on Reaper. I got them for $30 plus shipping. And then I got another set that's coming for $30 plus shipping, and another set for 40, but a little more expensive minis. That's a great price for Reaper metals. So if you're looking for some stuff, go on eBay, find a company, or what I do is I will go if I see like a couple of minis, I'll just start going through Reaper, lowest price first, and say Reaper Metal Miniatures, and go and just click the like little heart button, turn it black, like my own, and then like just hit all the ones that I like, that I'm interested in. Then I'll go over to my watch page and start going through them and look for the ones that are from the same company, and then I'll go add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. And in some cases, some of these companies will give you a discount on shipping or free shipping when you hit like 35, $55. And then you go, okay, well, I've got like seven, whatever, maybe you hit that mark easy. So you get them all for free shipping and at $4, $5, $6 a piece, anytime you can get, 10 metal miniatures or miniature packs for under $50, that's a great deal. Vic says he got his print copy of the Grimoire in which one? The Harbinger? Because that's not out yet, or it's not. Only a few select people. I was the first guy to get one. Then a few other people got them, but they're not allowed to show them off yet for reasons. Because that's the way it is in the industry. You can't show it off until a certain point. And did you get that, or did you get something else? Did you get the hardcover? Which, I was talking to George and Dave's like, as awesome as those copies are, my go-to is the hardcover for gameplay. On the table, I want the hardcover. This one right here, because what they did with this was they took everything when I created. Okay, okay. Well, I'm still gonna shill freaking Arduin because this is my favorite of all things. Uh, OSE Demonic Grimoire. Oh, okay. Um, they took in volumes 1, 2, and 3. Each book has like a section on magic items, monsters, uh, spells, and they just compiled it. They had this wonderful lady compile them all into one chapter. So all of the monsters are in one section. All the magic items, all the spells, anything that was in like book 1, 2, or 3, or 1, 2, or 2, 3, or whatever in here. So I can just find it all. As you can see, I got a crap ton of bookmarks because I use this one in every game I run, even if I'm running like. Oops, sorry about that. Maybe I should put you in different. Okay, you weren't even supposed to be there. You're supposed to be over here where I can see you, damn it. Telling you, she just gets around. Give you the link. I'll show it off. Give me $5. Hold on, dude. You should be on my freaking Discord, man. What the hell? You know everybody, right? What? But sure, Vic, I'll let you in. Why not? You're always fun to talk to. You really ought to send me a copy of that, or tell me where I could buy it because I'd rather buy it and then I'll tear it a new one. I mean, I'll review it. Um, who knows? I've never read a book. I'm going to leave it there. No, I've never read a book I didn't find at least one idea in worthy of stealing, if not like several. I was not just books, but did I just send myself? I just sent myself to my own channel. Well, that's funny because I clicked on the link instead of clicking over here. It's been one of those mornings, Vic. How you doing, brother?
Just fine. Okay.
He's just fine. You sound like shit.
I gotta do some editing here. Hold on a second. How do we do this?
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to do, man.
I
Hit me
gotta
with
take out
technical
my
questions.
virtual background.
Yeah, I see that. You and your beholder freaking buddy.
All right. Look at the screen now.
Okay.
The cover isn't right, but this is just the editor's.
It's got a very Halloween look to it. Was that intentional? I like it.
Anyways.
Why is it backwards?
It's got curses. It's got, let's see here. Here, I'll show you that page.
Okay. It's mirrored, so we're seeing it backwards. But
all right, hold on. How do we change it to mirror?
I don't know. I don't know,
God,
but I know.
what
I
am I gonna
always
do
do
with you?
everything perfectly, like this morning and yesterday.
All right, hold on. Now let's try it. Let's
Yeah,
see
let's
this
do
again.
that. There we go. Doesn't look like it's some weird Cyrillic language now. Cool. Yeah, we're all copying down the table of contents. You can take it down. Is it available and where is it available? And tell me it's available in print somewhere.
It will be. I'm just finishing up doing a little more editing on it, and I don't know if I'm going to put it on Kickstarter or I'm going to put it on, or just do the Lulu thing. But I got to finish the cover
Um,
again because the
can you
cover,
do it at Amazon?
huh?
Can you
If
do
it
it
if
at
it goes
Amazon?
on Lulu, it'll go on Amazon for sure. So
Yeah, because I'm almost done with Lulu. Um, Amazon is giving me trouble too, but at least with Amazon, I'm not waiting like 6 to 8 weeks to be disappointed. I
well,
get
the
that
thing
disappointment
is
right
right
away.
now about using Lulu is I just used it just for an editor's copy, so I can go through every single page of this tome and figure out exactly what I want and where, and making sure that the print was going to be how I wanted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And I didn't want it so it's so small that when like you're reading it, you got to get out your spectacles and go like this.
I got to do that. I got to do that anyways, and I prefer to tell you guys a little trick or tip, from an old geezer. See, old and geezer. If you start feeling the need to use them, use them.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I made
you,
this at 16 point print, so it's larger so that you go, oh
okay.
hey, I can read that.
That's nice. But I mean, if you need them, and you should use them so that you don't actually strain your eyes, or at least that's been my experience. I am not a doctor. I've just played one on TV and in Mexico. Um, that's a funny story.
Yeah.
Uh, but Lulu, they're kind of hit or miss. Sometimes the stuff is great, but sometimes if the stuff is not great, they just tell you to suck it.
Yeah. Well,
Whereas
you know
with
what? I accept this. I accept this as a first printing sort of editor's copy because then I can know the quality over there. Lulu, the inside was perfect. The printing was just spot on, but the cover was
oh,
so
sorry to hear
bad,
that.
So
What's
that's
up?
why I'm
What's up,
redoing.
Cold Iron? How you doing? Yeah, I've gotten a few things from Lulu that I was not happy with, but I've also gotten things from Amazon that I was pissed about. But Amazon will then practically sight unseen. They'll want a picture, but they will send out a next copy, and you'll have your copy in 2 days, like freaking every time. And I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. Uh, and no hassle, no nothing. It's just like, oh, you're not happy, here you go, because uh, they make so much freaking money that it's no skin off their teeth, whereas Lulu is struggling in every single book. They're they need that money to stay in business. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but if your product comes to me crappy, I want my money back or another copy. I'll give you another chance. And a couple of times, or at least one time, Lulu was good about it. I think it was Lulu because I had ordered uh, a copy of the manual of the planes from someone had the permission to do that or not. I don't know. But when I got it, the print was like really like they were running out of toner,
Mhm,
so it was really light. And I said, hey, I could barely read it. We're like, yeah, no problem. We'll send you another one. It took a while, but when I got it, it was perfect. And
mhm,
so technically, I have an extra copy. It's light
mhm.
print, but I have an extra copy of the manual of the planes, and so there's that, which is weird because every once in a while I do come across people printing up hardcover copies of TSR old TSR books, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take a reprint.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, that's see, and that's the thing too, is or when I made this, I didn't really put any effort into doing the cover so much as I was thinking maybe I should do the yellow spine on this so that it would go into everybody's AD&D collection. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah. Excuse my French. I would absolutely do that if I could just. I mean, if you're making something that's compatible with and you
Oh
want it
yeah,
next to, I would absolutely do that. And
it's all system neutral. So I mean, it's you can use it in whatever game, Hackmaster, whatever game you want to play it.
I love. I was just talking to a friend of mine last night. No, not last night. The night before, about the black pudding hackmaster. I think it's Hackmaster. No, that's Labyrinth Lord, isn't it? Hmm.
It's
I
the
don't own
25th
anything.
anniversary of it. I guess isn't that Jolly Blackburn stuff that they're the 25th anniversary
Of
Hackmaster? Isn't that made by?
I honestly don't.
Well,
I
we can
don't
ask.
know Shellback. It could be. I've been noticing that a lot lately. Like I was over on Arbiter's Archive or whatever the new channel is that a bunch of us hang out on. And everybody else's chat was not on my screen. It wouldn't show up, but mine did. So I don't know what's up with that.
Yep, it
But
is. It's Jolly Blackburn and the Hackmaster. He makes Knights of the Dinner Table.
okay, see, I have never owned or read anything from those guys or that guy or what have you. Never, not one thing. I grew up hearing about them, etc., but I just never had the opportunity or overwhelming desire to go and deep dive their stuff. Maybe I should. It always struck me as kind of like playing into the nerdism of the hobby. Is that correct? Like Dork Tower and things like that. Take care, Shellback. I was asking you a question, Vic.
Oh, well, I just read something that said that they're the only official compatible play system with D&D, and I was like, how did you get that done in 2001? You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. You know what I mean? I don't know Jolly that well, and I don't
No,
really.
I meant the sort of leaning into the dorky nerdiness of the hobby with
Oh,
Knights of the Dinner Table.
yeah,
Where it's a bunch of guys with glasses with band aids in the middle, kind of that kind of stereotypical nerd pocket protector kind of characters.
right.
From what I remember, that was kind of their their shtick, if you will.
Yeah.
And if that is in fact the case, I want nothing to do with it. That's why I don't like Harry Potter. Is it kind of leaned into that dorky glasses sort of stereotype, and I'm like, um, I never met one of those guys growing up playing D&D. Everybody I knew, I mean, maybe as a California thing. Um, I mean, they were more like the nerds were more like a character from Napoleon Dynamite or the Breakfast Club than that sort of Revenge of the Nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a California thing because we were a little more self aware or a little more close to Hollywood, but
Mm-hmm.
we never. That was just never a thing. As a matter of fact, I only remember one guy, uh, this Jewish kid who I was actually a friend with, uh, that even resembled anybody like that. And I only knew him for a year before he moved out of the neighborhood. They moved in and then they moved out. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. People usually move into my neighborhood and stick around for a while, but this kid and his family, they I don't know, maybe they had neighbors they weren't getting along with or something. There was a lot of that sort of kind of anti-Semitic behavior back then. I mean, it hasn't gone anywhere, but now it's
Yeah.
just jumped ships, right?
Wow. There's enough of that nonsense going around now. It just why people why? You know what I'm saying?
I don't
Anyway,
know. I mean, I have we have several friends that either are or were Jewish, and uh, they're still great folks to hang out with, great gamers. Why am I gonna I don't care what you do when we're not hanging out. Each and every one of you guys, except for one two exceptions, I've never met in real life. Everybody else, we play online, we have fun, we joke, we kid around. Sometimes we open up, sometimes we talk about real stuff, but we never, if I'm going to give you shit, I'm going to give you shit because you're a crappy DM or something like that.
Right.
I'm not gonna go below the belt, as they say, or make fun of something that you have no control over. It's like, oh yeah,
Right.
dude, you have a beard. What the fuck's your problem?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
stupid shit
it
like
just,
that.
you know what? You're there to play the game. That's all I care. You know what I mean? I could care less if you got to go. You know what I mean? The only thing I don't want to see is you say I got to go sacrifice a child or something like that. I mean,
Thanks
I
for
have my
reminding
limit. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for reminding me. Friday's coming up. Yeah, yeah. I don't think we've ever met anybody that bad.
Right. But you know
Right.
what I'm saying.
I didn't mean that part, Dean. I meant the stereotypical, over the top, like ingrained in their DNA kind of nerdism. Almost every single one of us that I know, if you saw either any of us walking down the street, you wouldn't be able to go, "Oh my God, that's a D&D player," unless you could identify them by their T-shirt. You know what I mean? We all look like normal folks doing normal things, having normal jobs for the most part, and just going about our life. But you know, back in the '70s and '80s, I guess there was a time where you could kind of, I guess, identify, people if they weren't playing D&D, they were doing something else equally nerdy. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah.
But I just didn't know anybody like that. And like I said, the one guy that I did, he didn't uh, live around us. I mean, maybe he went off to go play D&D when he moved out of the neighborhood, but he didn't play with us because we hadn't even started yet.
Well, there's a
That's
bunch of groups when I was playing. I know of like two or three groups that they were sort of insular when I was growing up. That was just, these guys played with these guys played with these guys, and these guys played with these guys, and they sort of kept it hush hush because oh God, they didn't want to advertise it to the rest of the school and stuff like
You,
that.
you know the closest thing we had besides my group, and my group was all like leather jackets, jean jackets, patches, long hair. Probably you could probably find us, smoking near the school. Um, was this group of guys that all wore camouflage every day,
Uh-huh.
okay, and they were always talking about squad leader,
Huh.
okay. That was the closest we had, and even then, I saw them at the game shop. Maybe they were picking up a supplement for squad leader or minis or whatever, but they were at the shop all the time. Maybe they played some D&D. Maybe they played Aftermath. I don't know, but that was the closest we had. We didn't have the Revenge of the Nerds. Although at the game shop, that was kind of different because there were some older folks there that
Mm.
were like, you know, you know what I mean.
Right.
They smelled of patchouli and weed and bo, and looked like it. You could see the stink cloud. They're still wearing their tie dye T-shirts before it had made a comeback.
Yeah.
Unironically, had their Volkswagen bus with Grateful Dead bumper stickers, that sort of thing. Uh,
Hmm.
but because I just remember seeing uh, that logo. Bloodworth's logo. The image of the character, the kids playing D&D.
Yeah.
Is that taken from them or is that taken from something else?
I think it's taken from them, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's sort of uh, yeah, imagery. So I think that's why I stayed away from that game. So you still working on that book, or is it ready to go completely? What's the deal?
This one is almost. This one's basically done. I just added a couple more monsters I remember I created in the past that are nasty ones. Like here, I'll show you one. Just because, well, I can, and it's mine, and I could tell you some things that I've added in here that are you might want to use in your campaign. I've got malevolent magic stuff that you don't normally
We
find.
couldn't see anything.
What did you say? You couldn't see anything?
Yeah, the your background just absorbed it.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Virtual background. All right. All right. See, malevolent magics.
Mm-hmm.
There's different things in there. Like instead of a bag of holding, you think you picked up a bag of holding, and it's not. It's a bag of transmutation, where you throw in your gold, and an hour later you reach in there and you're pulling out lead coins. As a dirty trick, but all metals will turn into a something.
Isn't that already in the DMG?
I don't. No, this is. I don't know if it is. If it is, I got to go in and scrub it for mine.
Hold on, let me. Oh. This sounds very, very familiar.
There's. I don't know. I don't think there is.
Hold on.
Oh, it's not in here.
Bag of devouring. Bag of transmuting.
It is in there, huh?
Yeah, it will perform properly for 2 to 5 uses or more.
What does it transmute from?
Hold on. However, at some point, the magic field will waver, and precious metals and gems within the bag will be turned into common metals and stones of no worth.
Oh, well, I gotta get it out of mine. Because all mine does is it just transmutes coppers, silver, gold, and platinum, and all metals. It'll transmute it. So
This will do it to gems as well.
yeah, mine won't. And then I've got like a basket of snakes. If you want to pull it,
A basket of what?
snakes, vipers.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
You toss it out. You kick it over, and there's 100 snakes, vipers come loose.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have it in here, but I have different stuff in here, like I'm not used to doing this here.
Mm-hmm. What's that? I mean, I can see the spider, but
It's a giant Stargrave Widow. So it's save versus poison or die in 3 to 6 minutes. These are just nasty creatures that I've created. And then there's a couple others in here that I from my own stuff, like the flying spider. This one I created a while back, and people hate
okay,
this.
that's the stuff of nightmares.
And there's vampire vines. You go camping and you think, oh, we're just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not from the material plane; they're from hell. But somebody brought some seed back from the hell and put them
So
in there.
kudzu with a vengeance.
Yeah, it sucks the blood out of you and stuff like that. You're sitting there sleeping, and it'll wrap itself around you, and it's got little cilia that poke into your skin, sort of like a lamprey or a leech, and it'll just start sucking your lifeblood out of you as you're sleeping. You won't wake up. So there's different stuff in here. And then I got all my curses, poisons galore. I mean, literally everything. And then they got, tables for, like evolving curses, where the DM will roll instead of you having to sit there and figure out what it is. You just roll it on the die. And this is what they have, and we'll just play along with it later on. So my players hate it.
Yeah, I can imagine why. I mean, I'm certain you give them some sort of fair warning or hint somewhere along the line before such things happen to them.
Right. Well, I just All I do is now is they make sure they pick up everything with gloves on. They make sure that certain stuff they don't touch. And just like, nope, we're not touching this. They
Dude, that reminds me of something I just saw this morning. This video, um, where women are going up to their cars and they're finding like a Kleenex or a tissue stuffed in the door handle,
Yep,
and when they touch it, there's some shit on it that is intended to make them pass out.
yep, I've heard of that.
I'm like, what the fuck? Okay,
Oh,
one, where can I get some of that? Because there are times I can't fall asleep, and two, I mean, what, they think they're just gonna pick the chick up and throw her over her shoulder and throw her into a van and take off? I
there,
mean, what
there
the?
I'm gonna tell you what. There's some freaky fucking people out there anymore. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I saw that video where this girl's at the bus stop and this guy walks by her and he's got this like straw in his hand and he turns around and blows this powder and she breathes it in, and freaking, starts getting dizzy and like going unconscious. And then this woman comes up, like looking like she's trying to help her, but she's in on it, and they try to freaking drag her away.
Yep, it's called human trafficking.
I'm like, what? You know, yeah, but in my day, it was different. You know what I mean? It wasn't so blatant. It was a lot more uh, careful, and you know, this is just like blatant shit. Like nobody cares. You know,
Hmm.
it's just. But it gave me a great idea for bad guys in my D&D games.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of those options. My players would probably kill me if I started thinking about some of that stuff that I'd do to them.
Well,
Just saying.
yeah, I had an incident last night that's just incomprehensible. But
What did you do? What did you do? What happened last night?
not going to talk about it on camera. Maybe I'll tell you later. But it was just like this shouldn't be happening in a game.
Oh,
But
oh God! I got people calling me and leaving messages. I'm like, what the hell is this crap?
so,
Who?
how much is your book?
I haven't priced it yet. I was gonna make $39.95, but I've got to add some. Like I said, I got to add some more stuff to it.
How many pages?
Right now, hold on. There's two different versions of it. There's the new version that's coming out, and the new version it's 127 pages. But I'm looking at adding more to it. So
I would say you need about another 100 pages before you're asking that kind of money, unless it's soft cover.
it's
In which
hardcover.
case,
So
yeah, hardcover, $40. It's got to have at least 200 pages in it.
okay. Well, I may add more. Maybe I'll just lower the price. It doesn't matter to me any.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, going by what's out there, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And you want to make some money, that would just be my advice. I mean, I can go out right now and grab a relatively nice copy of the Player's Handbook for like $40.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be brand new or anything like that. It's going to be used, but it's not going to be falling apart. But if I look around or if I go to you know drive through or something like that, I might be able to find because it doesn't matter what's in the book. Okay, no
Yeah.
offense, but um, when it comes to cost,
Yeah.
unless you've got like very expensive art, color plates and things like that, which I'm pretty sure you probably don't, right?
Nope. No. 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 No.
So if it's just black and white line art, you know, most readers don't care if it's stock art, custom, any of that crap, as long as it's not AI, because they'll lose their shit.
Oh
Freaking
well.
retards. I'm like,
Then I might mark it down to 29. But I'm also going to throw in a discount for Dave Con. So if I
for
do it
Dave
on
Con,
Kickstarter,
I wish I could go to more cons, any cons, honestly, but it's just about this far away from being able to do that. And even then, like I was thinking about it, it's like, what am I going to wear? Because I'm not even wearing pants right now. And what
We
am I
don't
going to
need to
put
know
in?
that.
What am I going to bring, and what am I going to carry it in? Because I've got like a backpack and a duffel bag, and the
Oh,
duffel bag holding the duffel bag's
I
full.
got a buddy that comes. He always brings a shopping bag. Literally, they bring the shopping bags. This is what they carry all their D&D stuff to the game and to the convention. They don't care. I mean, I've got fancy backpacks and everything
No, I mean
else.
I don't have any luggage whatsoever.
Oh well,
I never travel. I haven't been anywhere that required anything more than a backpack in 30 years.
well,
Mind you, I
get a
used to
backpack.
I used to do a lot of travel. Yeah, okay, if I'm going to another state, a backpack is not going to hold my wardrobe and my gaming materials.
Oh yeah, well, what do you? Okay, let me ask you a question, Shadow. Unless you're gonna DM at a game, what do you need? What
I
really?
need I need several changes of clothes, at least two pairs of shoes, shampoo, hairbrush, toothbrush, deodorant.
Here, you know what I pack? Here's what I pack. And I go to conventions. I pack enough for 4 days, even though it's 3, just in case there's an accident.
Mhm.
I've got one pair of shoes basically. Um, you can toothbrush, pit juice, and toothpaste. They always have shampoos at the hotels. I'm not picky about my hair. You know what I mean? I ain't got any left. And then if I'm DMing, I have a whole pack of my DM stuff. But otherwise, I'll just bring dice, pens, and paper, and that's it. Because you know what? The DMs always have all that stuff there. What do you need? And if you can't find it, you can always ask somebody to borrow their stuff for a second to look something up. You don't really need anything else.
Send me an image, Dean. I should cosplay as what the fuck did I just do? Should cosplay as that faction leader from BattleTech that looks like you at the con. I my BattleTech lore is not that good, so send me a picture. Maybe I'll do that. Uh, uh, I don't even go outside without about a half a dozen different things besides my keys and my phone.
Well, I got my Leatherman is basically.
Yeah, I've got things like that. Depending on the weather, I might have something in my vest. It's in about the 10 millimeter range. I've got um, my phone, my wallet, my keys. Hell, even on my keys, I've got like three different knives on my keychain.
Well,
I just got this new thing. It's the CIA spike. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
no,
It's
I got my 19. I don't know when my mom got me one of these. It's like
nice. Yeah,
40-year-old Leatherman. It's a
yeah.
PS2.
I don't take this one with me anymore, but I've had this one over half my life, and I'm 60.
Yeah.
It's this. I think it's the champion or something like that. Swiss Army knife. The scissors broke off. I don't know how. It's missing half. It's missing the plastic. Missing the ballpoint pen. Missing the toothpick. Um, it's all jacked up. But I keep it here because I use it every day. But um, I've got a key on my keychain that's actually a folding knife. I've
Hmm.
got my PR-34. I've got my CIA spike, which is a plastic, a non-metal spike about this long.
Mm.
uh, that's sharp as shit, but it's a triangular blade. It's about this freaking long. Um, because I've got some weirdos in my neighborhood, so when I go to the mailbox, you know, I just looked it up. It's Anastasius Vogt, but unfortunately, he's clean shaven. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not shaving this off, man. No way. Not just. I got so tired because I shaved I shaved from the age of 13 every day to 35 every single day, no matter what, every day. And The only place I would ever nick myself was right around here, and then this beard style came into the Van Dyke is what I believe it's called, came into fashion, and everybody had one. I'm like, you know what? That's genius. I will no longer freaking nick my lips or my nose or any of that shit. Um, just trim it with some scissors or whatever, and I'm good. And I'm just gonna stick with that until maybe if I don't know, needed to like, well, I've been watching a lot of videos on the surveillance state, the flock cameras and making yourself undetectable and things like that. And I'm laughing because like this computer here, sometimes it wants to use facial recognition, and if my hair is like parted on the side or pulled back, it has no idea who I am, and I got to put in my code word. You know what I mean? So like, if this camera here, this computer can't recognize me, um, I wonder just how good the all that other stuff is. But I also learned some techniques to try to get past those guys because I don't
Well,
like that.
well, it's sort of they got so much computational power in those things. You know what I mean? It makes our little 15-year-old printers or computers here look like garbage. So
Mhm.
it's amazing what they can do and what they do. You know, because guess what? They got unlimited resources to play around with that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, but I don't remember, giving up my right to privacy.
well,
And if I no longer have that, and will no longer have that, then there's a whole lot of other things I'm not going to do. Just saying. So when do you think your book will be ready?
oh, next week it'll be
Yeah.
ready. I'm just
You
going
think?
through covers right now, and I'm trying to get the align everything inside of those templates. You know what I'm saying? Which will probably might be today. I might get it done, but I
Okay.
got other little projects I got to get done first, and then I've got my I'm working on a book of modules that's called Dangerous Destinations Volume One, which is basically done. I just got to send it out to get printed, have it sent back.
And it's your own modules?
No, it's Jim Ward, um, Dan Gormansky, um, Forrest Killian Smith, Robert Ritchie, and myself all contributed to this 5 months.
Okay, but you have their permission.
Oh yeah, I got everybody's permission. They're all paid. I paid Jim Ward for this module. It was. Let me
Okay.
see here. Maybe I got one handy here. Do I got one handy? No. Where did I hide those things at? Um, anyways, it was the last Jim Ward module. I paid him for it, and then he was working on that other stuff for I can't remember the guy's name, but somewhere around here I got one. Where are they?
Okay. Well, what does something like that cost?
Let me get Jim Ward to do that. I'm like $1,000 it cost me.
Okay.
And I'm putting it out. There's two different versions of it. One of it was edited by Heidi Gygax, and that's the first one. It was a standalone module. This one is the one that will be exactly everything that Jim Ward did, exactly how he sent it to me. It said, here it is, it's completed. And that's gonna be the original that everybody's gonna get. So if I could just find it now. I got you have one of these, don't you?
No.
Oh, Shadow, what am I gonna do with you?
The 1-to-1 stuff drives me insane.
Where is it?
I don't get that. It's like, so if for some reason my guys show up at the table and they decide one day, for one of the part of the session they're actually just gonna rest, that I tell them to go home and come back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fucking retarded. But then again, I mean, I don't have 50 people all playing on the same world at the same time, um, which doesn't doesn't make sense. I mean, either get more DMs or be able to say no to players. It's like, hey, my table's full, or play a different game, different group, different day, that kind of thing. I just saw a news story about police in Wisconsin town put up flock cameras without town council permission. After getting caught, the mayor said it's okay. It was done under the guise of safety.
No.
Yeah, I've got one word response to all of that. It is simply timber.
Yep.
We're going to find that people are going to not like that.
Oh, I don't like flock cameras. I think they're a bunch of bullshit. They have absolutely they are going to be used in the future to tax people. They're going to start using watch out in California, especially. This is what they're going to do. Is they're going to be like, oh well, oh, we need to tax on that. We need to tax this. So they're just going to read your license plate and say you went past this flock camera at this time, and here's your toll. Just like they do on the Florida Turnpike. You go on the Florida Turnpike. You either have a transponder in your car or they send you a bill, and that bill comes to your house, and you're just like, I wasn't there. And they say, well, yes, you were. And I say, okay, send me the dash. So send me the picture. They send me the picture, and I'm like, that ain't my car, because they read the license plate, what they think is a license plate, and it's not your license plate. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's faked it on their home printer. They put a Minnesota license plate in there, and then they just, oh well, here it is. This is you. We're gonna bill you. That's not even my car. You know what I mean? Because they don't check that. It's a
Mhm.
big company over in Orlando, Florida that does that. That they read it. They have a computer program. Read it. When you got on, and read you when you get off, and then they send you a bill. They don't check the make, model, and everything else against it. All they do is access a database for whatever plate was on there, and they say, oh, that was you, automatically. That was you. That was the car that did that. You know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
they go, well, since it's your car in your name shadow, they'll turn around and then say it's a red light violation against your driver's license. They'll try to cross reference and say it's your driver's license. Well, if
Yeah,
you
well, fortunately, I've never had a driver's license.
you've
I've
never
owned
had,
several. Yep, never.
oh wow,
I've owned several cars, but that was a completely different situation. But I've never driven more than, like, if you counted all the times I've been behind the wheel of a car in almost 60 years, it's less than 2 hours.
huh?
Yeah.
Well, that Dave Con is perfect for you because I'm less than a mile from the airport.
Yeah, there's another con I was thinking about going to uh, that hasn't been announced yet. It's supposedly like right next to the freaking airport. Um, I don't mind taking a taxi or an Uber or whatever the hell, um, for something like that. It's kind of expected,
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they don't even charge you for the ride from the airport to my hotel where the convention
yeah,
is.
a lot of times there's a shuttle. Chris says I saw another video of a guy stood outside a flock business with a flock camera filming the employees. They got pissed off because they were being filmed without permission and called the cops on him. Well, it's not against the law if it's outside the place of business. Once they walk outside the business and you're filming,
Yeah.
nothing they can do about it.
If you're on public property, you're done. That's it. They can't do anything.
Yeah,
Even
what I would do is maybe invest in a drone, one of the older kind that's not hooked up to the internet or something like that, so that they can't turn it off and make it fall and crash, or learn to make your own. And you know, there's some old ones with cameras that are still functional, and you can still do a lot of shit, and turnabout's fair play and all that, and see how they like it.
Oh, there was a guy on I don't know whether it was a Facebook reel or a YouTube. He says this is for educational purposes only. Did you know that if you put a green light a laser on put it into a flock camera, you'll burn out the retina or burn out the camera of the flock camera. Oh, really? Put it on a drone, fly it to each flock camera, shine it right in the thing, and just I wasn't there. You know,
hmm
but I've seen them in Texas. I hear it's really prevalent where they're cutting down those flock camera poles. They just walk up to them because they only point one way and they just zip. You know what I mean? It doesn't take them but a minute to get through those. They're
hmm
fiberglass poles. They're not even steel, I don't think. So
because they're freaking they're that arrogant and convinced that they can't be stopped. And there's other things, aerosols,
mhm,
reflective coatings. We're going to find people wearing clothing, rain jackets made out of mylar and things like that. It's like,
mhm.
good luck, bitch. You can't tell me what I can't wear or what
Well,
I can wear.
I'm just surprised some of these flock cameras once they're cut down aren't in like a lake. I mean, they cut them down and they leave them there. I'm like, well, they're just going to put a new pole and the camera back up. Why don't you take it and throw it in the lake like you did with all these electric scooters when you hated them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's also these gadgets out there that are kind of legal in places that shoot out a flammable liquid. Um,
Oh, nobody'd ever own a flamethrower.
I've seen some really nice ones, really cheap on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
Just saying, it's
Well,
just it's
somebody,
to
Steve
quote
Kennedy
Princess
says,
Leia.
well, I would go the petroleum jelly and uh, magnesium, ground up magnesium, the finely grounded magnesium put inside of it, and smear it on there, and then start it on fire. And I guarantee you that camera is going to be a slag by before too long.
Used vegetable oil is actually pretty efficient too,
Yeah. Well.
and cheaper and easier to come by.
Yeah. Well. Go to the dollar store and get yourself some Vaseline, which is petroleum jelly. You know what I
hmm
mean? And there's like the front on certain cars, you can get magnesium. Parts are made out of magnesium, so you just go get it and grind it down, and well, you got yourself some magnesium and petroleum jelly. So
What about your what do you call it, your flint and steel, your ferro rods.
right, or you're just going for 6,000 degrees. I don't think anything's gonna, you know, or what's magnesium burn at? Magnesium's 4,000 degrees, I think it is.
Yeah, there's always powdered aluminum and iron oxide, and there's all kinds of shit out there that. I mean, people are going to get, not me. I'm freaking 60 years old. I'll be dead in like 2 years. I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
but other folks out there,
Magnesium starts off burns with the intensity of bright white flame. Temperatures reaches as high as 310, no, 5,610 degrees Fahrenheit. So 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit for a magnesium battery or magnesium.
let's not start magnesium fires in public. Electric batteries are bad enough. Well said, Dean. But you know what? When there is no more private, people like me, I really, really enjoy my privacy. Just being alone with my own thoughts, thinking, doing whatever, not even doing anything. Sometimes just thinking. But the idea that I'm being watched while I'm thinking, it's just like, why? What do you care? What do you need to know? You can send me a monthly questionnaire. I'll fill the fucker out. Just leave my ass alone. Uh, famous movie about a guy who just wanted to be left alone, and uh, you know,
Well, that guy up in Alaska, what was his name? Krinky. He was out of Iowa. Um, all right. Dick Pronenke, Pronenneke, Alone in the Wilderness. He's filmed himself up there for 40 years or something like that. And he lived out there in the middle of nowhere for forever.
and
Hey, if that's what you want, you know.
no, what happened?
What do you mean? What happened to him? He filmed it and it's on PBS. I watched it. There's a YouTube video of it too.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like he went off because they wouldn't let him do that anymore or something.
No, he just had it. He just went up there. Hold on a second here. Maybe I get the.
Okay, that's different. I was expecting it was like some sort of Unabomber kind of thing, or some guy they told him you can't live here no more, or you can't live off the grid. I'm like, what kind of shit is that? I mean, the government's the only one allowed to have a monopoly. You have to pay them just for existing. You can't figure a way to beat the system. Is that what they're telling us? You found a way to not have to pay for this thing or that thing, but you can't do that because that other people want to do that. Well, yeah, that's the whole point. We never agreed to this shit. Yeah, cool. You made electricity. Cool. You know, billions of people lived on this planet without electricity. We
Yeah,
can go back to doing that. Keep pushing.
I sent you the link.
That's fucking awesome, Chris. That is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it?
That would be fucking amazing. especially if someone had the wherewithal to set up a camera to film him waking up with that expression being on a live feed. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Just saying. What do we got here? What's this? YouTube.
that's the link to that guy that was living in Alaska.
Oh, okay. I'll have to watch it later.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that was the point, wasn't it? Of buying land. You know,
Hmm.
when not just originally, but like later on in here in the States, you got to a point where you could buy a little piece of land away from your actual home.
Bank. If you could give me a call when you get a moment, I'm in branch here in Apple Valley.
Uh-huh. Thought it was a clinic calling me. It's the bank.
You know what I mean, though. I mean, my old man, he bought a piece of land after he got to a certain point, just to have a place to just go out and chill.
Oh,
Once he had made it to a certain point financially, bought a little piece of land with some trees and some bushes, and I don't know, just a place to go and chill out and be left alone and not, you know,
I think
not
that's
be
what
surrounded
everybody
by
wants.
neighbors.
I think that's what everybody wants when they get to that retirement place. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? In their life, they just want to be left alone. Leave me
yeah,
alone. Don't bother me.
yeah. I think what it's going to take is it's going to take people to lose their addiction to the cell phone and just stop carrying them. Because those are the biggest like sign that you are ready to be led to the slaughter. It's like, can't leave without my cell phone. Well, your cell phone is a tracking device, a recording device, etc. And it's just gonna record everything you say. God, how many times have we, caught it spying on us?
Oh, it spies on you right now if you have one. If you're
Yeah.
sitting there, they're listening to you.
Well, yeah, I want them to hear this.
Hmm.
It's like, because one of these days they're going to piss off some guy with cancer who's like, you know what? I'm going to die soon, anyways. I'll take one for the team. One of these days it's going to happen, and they will have brought it on themselves. And people are going to get hurt, and I don't want that. Go back to leaving us alone. We'll leave you alone. How's that? Does that sound
Hmm.
fair? If those terms are not agreeable, just let us know, and we'll take the appropriate steps.
Hmm.
And by we, I don't mean me, because I'm lazy. I'm just telling people what I foresee, what I predict, because I've heard a lot of people lately talking about this, and for the most part, it's coming from people our age and older. The younger kids, they don't seem to give two shits. They're like, yeah, go ahead and watch me. I'm gonna jerk it now. You want to watch that too? I mean, that's their attitude. They don't fucking care.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, they're like, what do you mean you're not watching me? Right? These freaking, weirdos. What do they call it? Exhibitionists.
Well, you get to that point. You get to that point. Oh, the killdozer. Yeah, you get to that point, and you want to have a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook in your house. you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still plenty of land out there that people are dying to get rid of. Uh, and if you're gonna buy land, you just make sure that you have a payment plan set up
I
to
got a
where
buddy.
your property taxes, and some places don't have property taxes, right?
I got a buddy that has bought property out in Nevada, 640 acres, 1 square mile, $80,000. And he's told me flat out, hey, if you want to go live there, you can. Just pay the taxes. And I went, what? And he says, yeah, you can go out there and live if you want to. Just pay the taxes. Well, the taxes are like 200 and some odd dollars a year. And I'm like, okay. If I got
What's up,
that's,
Coco?
you know,
Exactly, Coco. People in the '60s. I better not. I better not say that, or the government will wiretap my house. People today, hey, wiretap. Do you have a recipe for pancakes? When my dad owned his gun shop back in the '80s, they wiretapped our house because he had a FFL. But it turns out the house we lived in, we weren't the first people that it was wiretapped. The family that lived there before us were apparently a biker gang of meth dealers back in the '60s. So there was the hardware when our friends came in and checked the house out for us and found all the different devices and told us where they were, etc. Um, Found old hardware, old wiring, and microphones and things from 20 years before we lived there. It was like, fuck. And yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I get it. I mean, if you're dealing meth, the government should stop you from doing that, and you should go to jail for that. I don't want meth in anybody's system. Nobody needs to do that. It's fucking poison. I've seen too many lives ruined because of that shit. But other things, that are now legal blows my mind. Just absolutely blows my mind. There are people who make the statement concerning being filmed. If you have nothing to hide or not do anything wrong, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Yeah, there's this thing called what do you call it? Privacy. The right to privacy. The right to not be filmed when you're naked. You know. I mean, I literally think that it's going to have to come to something like that, where people are going to be like, well, as soon as I walk in my house, I'm naked. You don't have the right to film me like that.
I gotta get off here for a little bit. I'll be back.
All right, I'll be here for a little while, but only about another 30
All
minutes
right.
or so.
All right.
Take care. Uh, you know, uh, do not do meth, kids. While it's more expensive, coke is better depending on what it's got. Don't do cocaine either. Don't do drugs at all. I don't even like taking aspirin. Um, trust me, it's there are way better things to spend your money on. Way better things. Um, right off the bat, planning for your future, or paying your bills, and when you've got extra money left over, you can be like this weirdo and buy plastic crack, that will last longer than the high. Uh, they film me naked, they get what they deserve. Right, but I mean, think about it. If you did that, right, and then they film that, with your Alexa or whatever, right, then doesn't that make them in the wrong? Doesn't make that tie into them being a bunch of pervs? It's like, hey, boss, this person will never put clothes on. You know, no, and if you're like, let's just not talking about you, Chris, or anybody in particular, but if let's just say you are completely unattractive without your clothes on, people are not going to want to watch that. I mean, yeah, they say there's a kink for everything, but I'm pretty sure the CIA, they're more into little boys and girls than portly older men and women, because those kids are going somewhere and they got help. If it's not the CIA, it's what, the FBI, DOJ, all of them. Prove me wrong. That's right, you can't. But on to a brighter, cheerier topic. Um, I got something else in the mail actually, and I'm not gonna pop these out of the packs. But back in the day, Steve Jackson was working on a game called Hot Lead. It never came out, but he had these things called Space Knights. And while they're roughly 25, 20, let me see, hold on a second here. Because these guys, some of these guys look. Let's get Tarzan here. Okay, they might be 28s. I don't know, when did these come out? Hold on a second, folks. But it was this neat. Chris, that's funny. Minifigs. Hold on. Huh. Okay, come on. We gotta have a copyright date on here somewhere. Seriously? There's no date on these packages. That's weird. But anyways, uh, Space Knights. There's about 15-ish different packs, and there were three factions. There were obviously the Space Knights, which were like sci-fi knights with um, you know laser lances and vibro swords and weird kind of high tech, low tech weaponry. And then there were these things called the Scions, which were, sort of a reptilian, apparently psychic race of monsters, uh, assassins, hunters, uh, leapers, commanders, all kinds of weird, giant reptilian things. And then, thanks, Dean. Come on in, buddy. Um,
Hello. Yeah, I got done eating, so I figured I would jump in.
and then there's these things. Is that all I brought up here? Called the Necrovore, which were the Necrons before the Necrons. Just saying.
Yeah.
There are these skeletal armored robots, even before, as far as I know, even before Palladium Skelelots.
Was it before
Uh,
Terminator?
no, definitely not before
Okay.
Terminator. I don't think. I can't find the copyright date on the packages, so it's hard to say. Um, but Steve Jackson's Space Knights. Uh, and there's this one pack I've been dying to open up. It's, hold on a second. You can, it's some sort of grav bikes, okay? And the riders have lances, okay? And they're like, like a Kawasaki Ninjas and, crotch rocket motorcycles, but with freaking lances,
It's
okay? I
pretty
mean,
cool.
it's ridiculously cool. It's like, yeah, no. I mean, if you're gonna crash and burn, there's like only a couple of ways better than that. But
Uh,
I'm gonna,
I will say what we go. I will say when I think in Gunso, I think more like that, and I think Dying Earth.
Mhm.
Like you just put things together because they're cool, not because they're necessarily practical.
Right.
That's more what I
And
think Gunso is than what a lot of people say is Gunso.
and then here's some of the Space Knights, very stylistic, big shoulder pads with hooks and curved blades and lances and battle axe, but power armor. And I got some in the mail earlier this week, thinking that I was missing this one pack, but I was actually missing a different one, so it didn't help. But I told myself I am not going to put together the grav bikes until I get another pack, so that I can keep my collection still sealed, because they're still in pretty good condition, sealed. The packs look really nice, and they're not made out of lead, so they're not going to rot. They've got radium and other weird high tech metals in them. And I'm like, I found this lot that was the price of the single pack of the grab bikes normally, which is like $60. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking grabbing that. Not only do I get to open up the bikes, but I get that pack I'm missing, and then four other packs. So I got it. Here they are. And it turned out I already had two packs of the grab bikes, and I got a third one. I had the pack that I thought I was missing. So it was like completely like I didn't need any of them, to fill in spots in my collection. So I got six packs of them. I'm like, you know, I've been painting a bunch of fantasy crap and pumpkins and dragons and stuff for like 3 months. I got some metallics over here that are not getting used in the way of the paint department. So I'm gonna play with them next week after I get some of the stuff off my table and show them off, because it was just like just so original, from Steve Jackson. He's done some stuff that was, over the years, absolutely freaking amazing. He's then opened his mouth and said some shit that's completely retarded. But this was back in the day. I want to say it was probably like early '90s, maybe late '80s when they came out, and they look, they're kind of cheesy, but the monsters look cool. The you know very dynamic posed lizard psychic monsters, the stylized black knight, skull headed, death bots. I'm like, yeah, who doesn't want that in their space game, right? A race of freaking, not Necrons, but because the Necrons all have that Egyptian theme, whereas these have like a very European Viking or stylized, medieval knight.
To be fair, Necrons didn't originally have what you call it, Egyptian theme. That was more when they got bored with them and introduced, like the intelligent ones.
Hmm.
Then they made them Egyptian themed.
Hmm. And the ones from Palladium are very, you know, nondescript, almost completely, devoid. If anything, it's got like a Transylvania-ish theme or a German theme, but very very austere. No flares, no, sure they got the spider bots and stuff like that or whatever, but it's not really. There's really almost the style is no style, brutalistic, if you will.
Yeah.
Whereas these are very gothic knights in armor, uh, and I'm like, that's going to be fun. Painting the Necrovore in black and gold,
Mm.
plate armor, very Dragonlance esque,
Yeah.
esque.
Shadow, I have a question concerning both miniatures and the games you run, the D&D games you run. Do you play with like a webcam?
Well, like on Discord, we just use the Discord chat, the live chat, so the camera's on,
Okay.
and I don't
Because
use.
do you occasionally like put up a mini and says, or like a tray of minis, and this is what is coming towards you?
Usually, I just go theater of the mind, but when I really need to do something, I can either quickly or I will have pre-generated an AI image of an NPC or a character and just put that in the chat so they can see the image of whatever, character, monster, item, place, location is. I'm working on getting an overhead camera so I can do some miniature things like Bruce does, but it's like I've got nowhere to set it up. Right
Yeah.
here, uh, I've got maybe an 18 by 12-inch area that I could put stuff, or I'd have to clear this whole desk off. That's never going to happen because I got like 500 bottles of paint here. I got 500 unpainted miniatures here, and my laptop. So there's just no way
Yeah.
that any
It
of
just
that's going to.
the idea I had was basically not like move around the minis, but basically you have so many cool minis. It's almost a shame not like to. And after describing the enemy, and you see them coming towards you or something like that.
I've never heard of that movie, Chris. Uh, I'll look it up if I remember. Night Riders.
Yeah, my
I
issue
mean,
with
I'm
hearing an old Knight Rider movie, I don't know if you mean old as if with David Hasselhoff or something older than that.
I'm guessing it's older than that, or not older than David Hasselhoff, because that's going back to you know the
I mean,
40s.
isn't he a baby boomer or a silent gen?
I don't think he's Silent Gen, but I think he might be a boomer. Um, but it sounds like the movie that Bruce Willis's girlfriend was watching in Pulp Fiction at the end of the movie when they're getting ready to take off. He wakes
Yeah,
up, motorcycles and machine guns. Uh,
and
it stars
he
Ed
was
Harris.
he was born in 52, so he's a baby boomer. Yeah,
What was that movie with Barry Bostwick? It was right after, not right after, but shortly after um, um, uh, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He played Brad, but Barry Bostwick was like they tried to macho him up with a beard, and it was motorcycles. He's 81. Uh, he's older than the Knight Rider TV show. What's up, Bubba? You guys remember that movie? Something Force, or I forget. It was this really. I remember seeing the movie poster and had these pre ninja looking motorcycles. Mega Force. Thank you. Yes. And I never saw it, but I remember seeing the movie posters, and then I looked and I saw starring Barry Bostwick, and I'm like, how do I know? Oh my god, that's Brad. Oh my
that
god.
is a cool poster. And is it the one with the tagline "Deeds, not words"?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yes, and I remember as a kid, I was a big fan of like Evil Knievel and stuff like that. Night Riders was from '81. Okay, and Megaforce is probably a little bit later. Uh, I would guess like 84, 85. Just got some Chaos Calms chilling for a moment. Okay, so I won't break out the air horns and the Judas Priest to wake them up for you. Um,
Okay, that is a pretty cool Gonzo image. I can
share it.
let's see. Shadow. There we go.
Because from what I remember, it had a look. I'm just gonna say that either was really okay, or it was super not. I mean, what was cool back then? Forgot and left some pellets out in the rain. Just lost 2 to 3 pounds. I forgot and left some pellets. Oh, you mean for your smoker or your grill? I'm sorry to hear that. I'm actually, Bubba, getting ready to buy like whoop. I don't want to do that. Megaforce is horrible. That's. I had a feeling the movie was horrible. I just remember the
The poster.
yeah, it had like a pre Power Rangers kind of look to me. My memory, it's like I'm equating it to like Power Rangers level special effects and costume and stuff. Um,
And
I
no,
don't know,
yeah,
man.
I share you the IMDb page of Night Riders. It's a pretty cool image they have for the front cover.
On Discord,
Yes.
and we've got Bubba in the stream in the house. What's up,
Hey,
Bubba?
Bubba.
I'm breathing. Got extra babies. My normally problematic grandson and granddaughter have not been problematic today. So
Glad to hear it.
yeah. Fletcher's getting better. Clover's getting worse. So two spasms, as I call them. Pop these little spasms.
Well,
Get a
glad to hear they
sportsman.
haven't been rambunctious today then.
Oh, dude, that's nature. He's 2 years old, autistic, nonverbal. He's a handful. She just screams a lot, but she's still just like 6 months old. So get you a sportsman's grill, dude. A Lodge sportsman's grill. That's what I use.
All right, hold on. Let me write this. Man, I am just taking notes left and right today. Hold on. I need a piece of paper because I really want one because I've got a big Coleman. Actually, I've got two big Colemans and a small Coleman. What's it called?
Lodge sportsman's grill. Get the newer ones. What I got. I downsized. It'll hold 2 large ribeyes.
That's about all I'm going to need. Hopefully, in the near future,
Actually,
when
I a
Jackie's.
picture on my Facebook about it because when I got it, I, I
Yeah, I
bragged about
remember you were. I saw an image or a video of you cooking on it. Is it propane or is it?
charcoal. I don't.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't use.
yeah. Fuck propane and propane accessories.
But I can
Um,
also see. I'm thinking about getting that. Uh, it's a small enough size. I think I can use that chunk wood charcoal, and I kind of like that stuff. It just burns quick versus the compact
yeah,
brisket.
that's one of the things I don't like about like my wife and her family. They think you can cook on black charcoal.
Well, you can. I mean, I use
Like without a
charcoal, but I
grill?
don't use any
No, what I mean
chemicals.
is like, okay, the little briquettes, right? I was taught
Yeah,
that you got to wait until they're all gray before you cook them.
white on the
Oh yeah,
edges, and before they go full white and roaring hot. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
because if they're black, they're still burning off the
they're
things you
still
don't want.
yeah. You cook with the embers and ambient heat. Yes.
Right, you
yeah.
don't want to use like that, and they're like, no, it's good now. They'll throw
No,
in the fire. I know, and they wonder why they all have health issues. They also will throw in um, 2x4s.
well, that's yeah. I ain't got a problem with that. That'd be
Uh,
all.
well, most of the wood out here is treated, and
Oh,
Oh yeah, not treated. Post
yeah,
oak. You want post
that
oak.
makes a spicy roast.
yeah, there's nothing like having your steak covered in plastic particles and what have you.
And liqueur.
Everything else is. But the blend I use for smoking is hickory and oak, and it's post oak. So the oak they cut for post.
No, I mean this is brand new, right out of Costco. With the stamp still on it. Yeah,
That's that's dumb.
yeah. They literally sent over a bag of that for me for my fireplace. I'm like, are you trying to kill me? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you cannot burn this. It's wood. No, you cannot burn this, and you definitely can't burn it in the fucking house.
Vic
Anyone
asked
got a
for a link
link
to your
to
Discord.
Shadow's Discord? Yeah, someone else is gonna have to do it because if I go over to Discord, I might lose the stream because my freaking tech is
I
freaking
still have
Stone
a
Age.
lot of buildings and stuff around here where they got 2x4s and I don't think they were ever treated. Right. So we can get local stuff. It's not treated.
Right, but it's not, and they don't care. They just do it anyways. Sometimes it's natural with bark on it, kind of wood. Cool. I will throw that in the fireplace. I will
That's
throw
great.
that.
It's a bit smoky, but it works.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
Right, and before I burn anything, like when I get my firewood, which I'll be getting in November. Holy shit! I got to make room. Um, I will leave it. I will not start burning it until it's been out in the sun for a while. If I cut it myself, it'll sit like a year. If I get it from my guy, a month or two, and I'm good. Chris, I was going to ask the same question. Uh, what kind of camera would someone suggest to hang over my table when I want to get down and start using miniatures at my online gaming sessions? I have no freaking clue. I used to have one, but the arm, the boom or whatever, it had one of those, where you twist it to tighten it onto the table. And unless I twisted it so tight that it was starting to bend the table, it wouldn't stay, you know,
Yeah. I
level.
unfortunately
It
don't
would
have
just,
any recommendation because I only know like if you need motion tracking. I don't know you don't.
hmm.
I don't.
So I'm gonna have to get something very, very lightweight and rinky dink, so that it doesn't need a lot of pressure and stability because it's not so freaking heavy. Because the camera we had was kind of heavy and just
I thought about it, but I still have some friends who are employed, and it would cost their job the way we joke and talk at the table. So
Mhm, mhm. No, I totally get all of that. Uh,
it's just
when
me.
I
I feel like it's a no holds barred session. This is what people really say at tables.
no, for a while I had some players that didn't want to be on camera, but now they are fine with it. They got to
Paranoid.
know it. Right. But we're talking just so that I have a camera facing down on top of my minis, so I can do the battle mats and stuff like that. Which I've been running a game for over 3 years and never used minis. Theater of the Mind with ranging from 12 to 4 players now, and we do just fine. I actually just started. I'll show you. I drew this map for the last session, and I actually put a grid on it just so they could like kind of, you know, down here, you know, they kind of like say, "Well, I'm over here." I was going to put the ABC 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, "Yeah, fuck that." As it is, they ran from the battle um, because there was a big demon and a bunch of glowing, buzzing things
I gotta go.
that just. All right, take care, Bubba. There were a bunch of these glowing, buzzing, humming flying creatures or things, because they never knew what it was. It was just like a mini will-o-wisp. It was this light.
Yeah.
Magic didn't affect them, or the magic that they were trying to use on them didn't affect them. And they cast like a blade barrier in front of the door, and it went right through the freaking blade barriers. Like I said, "Fuck you." I'm like,
Okay, so
"Oh,
it's not affected by force or like magic missile and the like.
they didn't try any of that."
Okay.
Uh, because they're too worried that the demon that was like in the center of the room, and there's these flying lights. I'm just going to say, and the demon does one of these and just rips open a portal into hell in front of him, so that more shit could come out from hell. And they're just like, "Fuck this!" And they start running. Player puts up a blade barrier in the doorway, and these lights just come zipping through the blade barrier, not affected because of the wording of the spell. And every time one of these creatures hit, it would explode or whatever and disappear, but inflicting 35 points of damage. No save, no nothing. Just
Yeah,
you get hit.
that's a lot after a few. Or just after 2, depending what class you're playing.
Yeah, Omen's magic user died. An NPC died. The rest of the characters fumbled and either teleport or ran as far and fast as they could from that encounter. Um, and it sucked for Omen because he tried to do something and he changed his mind because we couldn't agree on the effect because he was trying to. He was going to teleport. He probably should have, but he decided to do something else, and it cost him his life because he got hit with 2 of those things, and he was just a magic user. So he took 70 points of damage. There was nothing left of him but meat, just smeared meat all over the hallway. And the NPC that was pretty valuable, pretty crucial to hunting down and destroying the vampire menace. It was a NPC who was on a quest to find the Sun Sword to give to his boss, who was going to use it to slay the vampire prince, king, god, whatever, running the vampire faction in the world. And
He died.
he died. Oh yeah, he died. Really, I was tempted to have him having plane shifted out at the last minute because he could have, but it's like, yeah, I didn't say he healed. I said he cast a spell, and if he took 70 points, he was a cleric. It's like, yeah, no, he's
Okay, so that's why someone in your chat said, "Rip, insert name here. We barely knew him."
his name was Rykon.
It was Rykon, yeah.
Yeah, Rykon.
And that
Rykon is
pretty
no
cool.
more, and I really like that NPC. I like really put a lot of detail into his backstory and stuff. But the players, didn't really pay a lot of attention. He was a dark elf vampire hunter, which sounds weird, but he was in fact that. I played online for a while with my old group who's out of town, and my buddy set up a camera at the end of the table and gave it the viewpoint as if I was sitting at the end of the. We did that with a friend of mine who passed away, unfortunately. We had someone's laptop at the far end of the table, and it was just his face, and he was playing. It was cool, but he kind of converted to Islam, so I kind of didn't miss him when he was gone.
Was he black?
He was.
Okay.
Before that, he was Jewish. He was a really nice guy. He was one of my really good friends. But then things, TDS and liberalism and other things and diabetes started eating his brain. And he always had that thing for a certain kind of white girl, and it just
The one where BDP is not borderline personality disorder, but best pussy disorder, or
nothing I would have ever touched with a 10-foot pole.
fair enough.
Not even close. Not even on my worst, drunkest, bluest, freaking saddest part of my life would I have ever. No. But prior to that, he was a great guy. He was a
Yeah.
really good guy.
Yeah, I don't actually think I had any friends who die from like self-destruction. It's always been like accidents.
Now, well, my black friend who passed away, he was always huge. Like really really tall and always overweight. So when diabetes and liver failure and all that shit got him,
Yeah.
not really surprising. And he was older than me, so there was that. But the other two friends that passed away in the same year, like three guys in the same freaking year. I played D with all of them, hung out with them for decades. One guy, meth addict, couldn't kick it, and he was still doing it at like 65, okay, or 63 or whatever. Was at a restaurant, eating, went outside, have a smoke, and dropped dead right there on the spot. The other guy, good friend, really good guy, really good. Like of all my friends back in the day, he was the one most likely to succeed, and he did. He did really well in life, but he was fond of the drink, and then he quit drinking for like 6 months, and then fell off the wagon, and in one night just like drank too much. Next day he's on dialysis. 30 days later, gone.
Yeah, that is the problem with being successful in hyper competitive stuff is you really have to not like disassociate, but somehow separate yourself from it, or you're gonna start self-medicating.
Well, he was always just not like rip roaring stinking drunk kind of guy. Just liked his really more expensive alcohols and that sort of thing. And whenever we drank together, he's like, dude, you drink. He was telling me I drank a lot, or whatever. And he was correct. I would freaking just drink to excess. There would literally not be enough alcohol in the state if I started drinking that night.
Uh,
Um, and I quit, and I haven't had a drink, and don't want one. Don't think about it. But he quit, was doing good, and then just one night it's like, oh, we'll just have one drink, and one drink turned into like four or five, and next day hospital. I called him, and he thought it was his brother. He was so fucking out of it, after getting out of the hospital and stuff. Like, okay, dude, call me when you're better. I waited a week, maybe two. Called up, girlfriend answers the phone. I'm like, "Where's Ron?" He passed. I'm like, "What the?" Like,
you didn't miss much, Paul. We had Bob just reminiscing of people who died.
yeah. I miss him.
Yeah.
These are guys. I hung out with like every freaking day. For months, years, even. Oh my god. Two out of the three we played D&D every day for 15 years. And then in 1 year, three gone. Poof, 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 poof. And some of them were older than me. But everybody, always joked that I'd be the first one to go, not the other way around. And now,
Yeah, fortunately, your
yeah.
parents' illnesses weren't heritable.
Well, we thought, it was going to skip a generation, but uh, it didn't. Thank God. But I don't think polio does that. But at the same time, even though I was born immune to it, every school I went to, including juvenile hall, they insisted that I get the vaccine, even though they knew I had it. I mean, they knew I'd had the vaccine. It was on my school records, from every school I went to. So I had it like four or five times. I got hit with the polio vaccine, and I'm like, or whatever the shot is, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it, but now I guess I'm super immune to it. I should go to freaking, someplace Doctors Without Borders and help out, but I'm pretty sure like
So somewhere on your arm you have like 7 circles.
no, they
For each
stopped using the
element.
circle thing after a while. Um, but long time no see, Paul. How you been, man?
But yeah,
Haven't
I
seen hardly
always.
any. I've like not seen Bear in forever. Him and DM James, like they're just like. Poof. I know
Oh
DM
yeah,
James is out there. I see him occasionally, in his own chat with somebody, but I don't interrupt on that. And I talked to him for a minute. I talked to Hungar, but like normally James was doing like one big long ass video a day.
Yeah, he goes back and forth with that, James. But I don't know why he isn't hopping on your stream, like how his schedule is. Because at some point he just said, "Oh, I forgot," and while like he was painting.
Mhm.
Uh,
It does, Paul. It's coming up on the anniversary of Shauner, and every year I give the family a call and talk to them for a while, and try to get them to freaking contact Amazon. While not everybody bought his book, I think everybody should own his book. And there's money out there waiting for them. It's not a lot, even if it's $100, I'd rather they get it, and buy a meal, and remember him, or something with it, than it's just sitting in Amazon's, coffers, and 100, 200 years go by, and it's like, $250,000 in interest,
oh yeah,
because
they hold it in interest, or send in a call, and then there's probably like some clause or law somewhere that says like if it's unclaimed for a certain amount of time, they can keep it.
yeah,
But yeah,
but also I haven't seen Bear in a while.
yeah, Bear I don't know much about because I don't follow his channel and so forth, and I don't like watch a lot of the big streams but he had appeared on. Because it's only like when he's in your show on James, I saw him.
Well, I don't think he's going to be on either of those shows for a while. He's still, upset about our guests, and I try to tell our guests, be respectful to uh, my guests, but at the same time, I don't expect them to, not say things, and not say things the way they feel, or if like you think something is this way and someone thinks something's that way, you should be able to, you know point counterpoint kind of thing, and some people don't really like that. They think they're right and that's it. And you know James just did a semi-long stream 2 nights ago with unscripted. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. And if it's a stream after 5 o'clock, there's almost no chance I'm watching it. I used to try to do that for Bear, but lately my schedule is just I'm doing something else. Monday, Tuesday I got games. Saturday I've got a stream. Sunday I've got a game. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I'm either doing stuff with family, or I'm writing, or I'm working on the next video, or other family things. And it's going on like 2 weeks since I've seen James like on a show, mine or otherwise. And I'm like, he said he was doing a lot more gaming and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but you know, I know
real
you're not.
quick,
I know you're
yeah,
not gaming at lunchtime, dude. Where are you?
real quick, there's a minute and a half until it's been 2 hours.
I'm gonna stick around for a little while longer. I know you got to go soon, as
Oh
well.
no, I have eaten, so that's not a problem.
Cool.
I just didn't. Speaking of censor bars back then, I didn't want to like do like that on stream.
Yeah, I try not to eat on stream either. I've done it a couple of times, but I'm really trying not to do that. But sometimes, man, if the wife brings me something,
Yeah.
I kind of, don't have a choice, because sometimes it's actually good. Um,
What kind of dishes of hers do you like?
she makes these things called chilaquiles, which I've tweaked the recipe a little, and it's freaking awesome. It's like, you ever had um, fresh like tortilla chips, like right out of the oil, like at a restaurant with chips and salsa, anything
No,
like that?
here we don't do a lot of Mexicans okay, you can buy the materials in the store, but it's not like there is no restaurant or something like that.
Okay. Have you ever had tortilla chips?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Imagine
have.
they're hot. Imagine they're hot and crispy, right? covered in a tomato sauce with cheddar cheese, onions, diced tomatoes, uh, and maybe another cheese, and sour cream on top. And on the side of that giant mountain of deliciousness are two eggs, either over easy or sunny side up.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds like a great bachelor dish. Although I will admit I'm not that much to sour cream.
You can since it's like
Yeah,
it's like the icing on top.
yeah.
Always, it's like the last ingredient. You can just go no sour cream, but it's really spicy. It's really crunchy because it's tortilla chips. The thing is, when they make it, the tortilla chips are soggy. They're like cornflakes. If you leave them in the milk too long, they're like
Yeah.
that soggy, and I hate that. It's like, no, I want them crispy. And she's like, what? It's like, don't put so much sauce on them, and don't leave them in the sauce. Pour the sauce on them like they were nachos. I'm good. I will eat that shit up all day, every day.
I will admit I thought nachos or tortilla was the same thing. And I don't mean like same kind of food. I meant like same thing but different name for different dishes.
No, no, they're very, very, very different. And that's my favorite thing that she makes. After that, it would be probably your basic chicken parmesan. That she just learned the recipe homemade. It's nothing. We've all had it a million
Yeah,
times, but
chicken parmesan is great, and I can understand why you want it homemade because then you can have a proper cheese and so forth and so on instead of it's this is not me doing a dig at American cheese, but like instead of like but have proper cheese instead of like that cream cheese something they usually have like in finished dishes.
yeah, I've made the switch also from like shredded cheeses. I will not buy shredded cheeses ever again,
Hmm.
and I recommend you folks out there don't, because there's an ingredient they throw in that kind of cheese so it doesn't stick together. Basically, they call it cellulose, which is basically sawdust, ground up tiny microscopic sawdust, so the cheese doesn't stick together. And it turns out, if you take a block of cheese and a cheese grater and you grate that cheese, not only is it about $1 cheaper for the same exact amount of cheese, it's not full of that nasty ass ingredient. And you can also use that same cheese if you need sliced cheese, grated cheese, cubed cheese, whatever. You decide, and if you don't finish it all, you throw it in a Ziploc bag, you throw it in the refrigerator. Is good. Paul says, I'm doing interviews every other Tuesday, non D&D OSR, mostly with designers. I meet at cons. Other than that, playing in one of Bear's games on Sunday. Well, see, that's why I don't see that, because I have my own game on Sunday, church, etc. Um, I was watching, what was the channel yesterday? They were doing the top 5 games you can't wait to play. I want to do that, but I want to talk to them and make sure they don't mind I copy that thing, because if you saw my list, there's no D&D OSR games in that list that I'm desperate to play, because they've been in my collection forever. I bought them because I want to play them. I love the theme and stuff. American cheeses week. There's actually a brand of American cheese that I get that's fucking phenomenal, but I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
And you say cheddar, feta, blue, all kick our ass. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't eat like a lot of cheese. Oh yeah, Roger. He's got a good show. He's a good. Yeah, but nobody ever sent me the link. You know who sent me the link? Freaking Baron Karza. For those of you who don't know, Baron Karza is the guy that I got all freaking a 4-letter word with.
Kiss.
Baron Karza. Yeah, no. We started arguing, and then I banned it from the channel. And it turns out he's actually somebody else. I thought he was like this one guy, but he wasn't that guy. He's this other guy who's actually a friend of mine, and George and Dave, and one of the guys who works on Arduin. And I just like totally freaking went a little overboard. I was and then we talked on the phone, and now we talk like like at least once a week for like 5 hours. It's like, It was, my bad, kind of, but we were both. We are very good friends now. But we both kind of, you know. Anyways, more my fault than his. But he keeps thinking it's his fault. I'm like, no, 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 man. I was.
Oh, I don't think he's banned anymore. Oh wait,
Oh
there's a
no, no,
delay on the
no.
stream.
Well, no, that's the funnier thing is like, after I talked to George and I found out who he was, I'm like, oh shit, I thought he was somebody else. Oh crap, give him my phone number, have him call me so I can apologize. And he calls me and he starts apologizing first. I'm like, dude, no, no, I thought you were somebody else. And then I unbanned him off YouTube, right? And 2 or 3 times he's trying to come in and talk because we were talking about something, and he's like, dude, he's like hit me on the phone, and I didn't have my phone, and it turns out I had banned him on StreamYard as well.
Oh
Uh,
no.
so he couldn't get in. And then I was like, I unbanned you on YouTube. Why can't you get in? I unbanned you on YouTube. Why can't you get in? Oh, because I'm an idiot. And I had also banned you on StreamYard. So I unbanned him yesterday on StreamYard or Monday or something. Whenever it was, I had Joe on the show from Reaper Miniatures, and we laughed. It was funny, but. But I will be having Joe on the show again as well. He's sending me out some cool shit in trade because uh, he's a fucking stand-up guy, man. Just straight up stand-up guy. Very cool, very cool, and very lucky to get to work on his like dream project as well. Heritage Miniatures was just one of those companies back in the day that was just as big a part of my introduction to the hobby as D&D was, with their miniatures, not just D&D miniatures, but sci-fi, monster movies, Conan, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings. Uh, it's all good, man. It's all good. Um, we're friends, he's got my freaking phone number. Call me whenever he wants. So it's all good. It was just really embarrassing.
Yeah,
Um,
it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I mean, I totally thought he was somebody else, and you guys would have all been, proud of me for banning him. But it wasn't. I wasn't him. I got to hunt that guy down. Give him what for, right? No.
I mean, at least you don't have the issue of like people making burner accounts to go after you.
Oh, we did have that guy last week. Remember, Mister
No,
Plus 10 Metal, the guy who
no.
was talking about Plus 10 Metal and calling me an idiot because I actually did research, and in the modern world and for a very long time, most wild animals don't bother humans. They just know better. It's just not
Oh yeah,
worth it.
yeah. There's a lot of things that animals are fucking terrified about humans. First up, we are standing up, right? Second off, they know we are, what do you call it?
Pack animal.
They will pack animals, but I thought more like the ones who just keep walking after them. I forgot what they call that, but they were like you walk the animals to exhaustion by
Hmm.
chasing them.
And not just that, but the
And then also like the face or face, we have isolated muscles, so they just see the smile. They don't see like like a vocal like
mhm.
where we can go like we don't express always with our whole face. So there's also why you shouldn't smile at animals other than like showing teeth, because they literally see an alien because the rest of the face isn't moving wet.
I didn't know that part. I was going to go with the noise, the smell, the
Also that.
uh, the ingrained history of millennia of hunting them relentlessly. The fact that it's just not worth the squeeze because if they get injured even a little, most predator animals know that if they even get a scratch on them, that could be the end of them
Yeah.
through infection.
That's
And
also
the only time animals attack us is because they're injured, because they're starving, because they're old, and those instances, the number of incidents, like people can talk about the different lion attacks in Africa, recent, like within the last 100 years, and the few instances that there are animal attacks. But it's like gun crimes. They never report the times that people see an animal and the animal runs away.
Yeah.
And the proportion to those, is like thousands, if not tens of thousands of encounters to one attack or more.
Yeah, and that's also true. What you're saying there, they actually made experiments in Africa that like if they play human speech near a watering hole, the animals won't approach it. And then they also found out like funny things like if an animal is wounded and they hear like a white guy, they will approach. But if they hear like a local, they won't.
I didn't know that one, but I didn't know the noise and the voices. They won't. There's almost no incidents, except for those two, one in Africa and one in India, where the lion or the tiger attacked tents. They don't. They'll watch, and they'll listen. And if they do come, it's usually because they smell your food, not you as food.
Yeah.
Um, and they're very few incidents where an animal will freaking claw into a tent and shit because they don't know what's in the tent. They don't know how many of you there are. You know,
Yeah, it's actually more likely a horse or a cow will bother you because they're like, oh, is there
yeah, they'll
food?
go after they'll go after your horse, your dog, your
Oh no,
mule.
I
That
meant
sort of.
more like if you're in a tent, it's more likely a cow or a horse will bother you because they're like, oh, there's a human there, there's food, or they're supposed to feed me or something like that.
Gotcha. But he got all bent out of shape about that. Now, to be fair, I did the devil's advocate. Uh, there are reasons why you can justify it in most of our games. It's a more intelligent version of the same creature. It's evil, and you just want to break the laws of physics, and you just want to be contrary to 100,000 years of human evolution and animal evolution. That's fine. Or you can say that you could let the players know that, hey, there's this lion out there that's attacking people, or there's this bear out there attacking people, and then they'll find out that the bear was wounded, or like in both cases with the lion and the tiger in Africa and India, the animal had taken an injury to its mouth, so it could not actually hunt and feed, or if you have a picnic basket, they couldn't actually deal with the gazelle and the zebras and giraffes or whatever they normally ate. They had to find something softer to eat. Humans fit the bill. You
Yeah.
can make the creature wounded like that, or just crazy, or just for vengeance. It's cocaine bear. But you gotta let the players know that that's out there. Um, but no matter what that animal is, you start displaying fire, they're not coming near you. They've done tests where animals who have never seen fire, right,
Yeah.
never seen it, then you show it to them and they freak the fuck out.
Yeah,
All
that's
of them,
one of the
lions, tigers, and bears, they're not going near fire.
yeah, that's
Um,
one of the mysteries of humans. Yes, we know we have sentience, but why aren't we afraid of fire inherently? We don't know.
even children, when they see it, they'll reach out and you got to grab their hand away from this
Yeah.
burner.
Yeah,
Don't touch
that
that;
or
it'll
a hot
burn you.
plate.
And then they'll still try and do it because they need that experience. Once they get that experience, they're like, oh, okay, well now I got to be a little more respectful around the fire, but I can still control it to a certain extent, which takes skill and a little practice. But once you got it, I mean, like I said, you can go grab that Amazon flamethrower and just light shit up.
That
I
reminds
swear to
me.
God, I swear to God, one of the very first things I do, if I can, I'll actually have a flamethrower waiting for me when I get to Texas, just to go out to the desert somewhere and just freaking light some cactus up.
That
For
reminds me. Speaking of flamethrowers, one of the lost opportunities from Hasbro's last Wizard of the Coast was that they never sold like not flamethrowers, but like those you use to get rid of weeds and so forth. They didn't
Mhm.
sell it like with a dragon chassis or something like that.
Hmm.
I think that's a lost opportunity. 'Cause that would have been cool.
Yeah, absolutely. There was that story of the two strange lions they based the movie The Ghost in the Darkness on. I did not see that movie. Could you elaborate, please? And here's the other thing. It's part of an upcoming challenge for you writers and creators out there. Okay, riddle me this. Okay, we got these fantasy worlds, right? And they got all kinds of monsters, all kinds of things, right? But they all have chickens, cows, pigs, horses, geese, ducks, giraffe. Why? Why don't they have other animals that aren't those but fulfill the same function?
Uh, well, first, well, the boring questing familiarity and also areas of law and neutrality can uphold more stable areas, and those animals are more stable. The more advanced answer is people just forget to think about it, and then there's also some GMs that think. But if I have to say, it's like a cow. What's the point then?
Because then you can throw in shit like I was just talking about, like the lion, right?
Mm.
It's not a lion, it's whatever, right? But it's not afraid of people. As a matter of fact, people are its favorite food. Or you can have other like I use like riding lizards a lot instead of horses in a lot of my games. Not only riding lizards but flying lizards, because my world is not Earth. It's nothing like Earth. I want it to be different. What's different? Those two things are radically different. And if people eat a different kind of flying lizard instead of chicken, but it tastes like chicken, who cares, right? You don't have to pluck the some bitch. You just skin
To
it.
be fair, they
You
do say that I forgot if it's a
snake,
crocodile or alligator, but they taste a little smooth, a little bit like chicken.
frog legs,
Yeah. But yeah,
snake.
in my world, I tend to excuse like animals hostility. What do you call it? To human, no, not humanize, to humans and demi-humans, as hacks are a lot more. There is a lot more hacks than you expect from like standard D&D, and a lot of them like lead humanoid tribes,
Mhm.
and they gotta use their magic on something, and they like torturing people.
No, Chris, that's exactly the two lions I was talking about. There's those two lions in Africa. Then there's a tiger, a Bengal tiger in India. Those two lions were injured, and that's why they did that. They could not hunt their regular food. I have it written here somewhere because they actually gave them a name or something. Um, when they finally hunted them down and killed them, uh, injuries to the mouth, or at least one of them. Maybe it's a different instance, but it's almost always some sort of injury, or they've been ostracized from the group, therefore they can't like hunt the regular prey, or they're getting really old and weak, and not able to chase the other creatures that they normally hunted. And those are all valid reasons. Plus, you can make up some other ones, but at the very least, you got to do one of two things: uh, hint or alert the players that, hey, there's a creature out there killing people, and it looks like this or that or whatever, and you know, uh, you know, allow the players to have ways to defend against it. If it's a first level group, you know, and you've got this like 12 hit die freaking mountain lion, just freaking slaughtering things. Well, there's nothing anybody can do about that. No first, second, third, fourth level party can kill that. Not without digging traps and all that other crap. And the whole time you're rolling encounter dice while they're trying to dig a pit trap. You know, this is you might as well just kill them from the plague and just have them roll up new characters in another world, because there's no way around that as a player.
And now I'm like reminder of like a parody sign I saw of, like, like dangerous animals with like warning: cougars in the area. Any men under 25 shouldn't be left unattended.
Totally fair, especially after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
In certain districts. Uh, you know, there's there's got to be a way to kind of break people of that habit of the everything is identical to Earth in the way of wildlife.
Yeah.
If we ever find life on other planets, it's not going to be the same. We're not going to find monkeys and chimpanzees and polar bears and gorillas and ducks and chickens and goofs and things like that. If we do, then Star Trek was right all along. Nobody wants to live in a world like that.
Agreed. Also, Coco, that may be, but polar bears will eat a human. They will also learn their patterns to take them when they are vulnerable, which is why people on those polar bases are told not to fall into habits. Like going out to smoke at the same time and so forth.
See, Coco, I thought polar bears were like just the opposite, where they just like fucking humans tasty. Let's get them. But if there's no history, like I said, predators, those kind of animals, um, from everything I've learned, they know that the juice has got to be worth the squeeze, and it's got to be the least resistance and the least risk to them. They can't go to the doctor. If anything happens to them, it could be the end. 45 super on. There's that. There's that. You would just think that they're just not gonna take the chance. It is for the most part they can get a pretty quick, easy meal like anywhere else. And if that's not the case, then obviously they will start taking chances. But oh, you meant not afraid. That's what I was thinking. It's like that's one of the only creatures I'm really scared of. Is why I don't go where it's really cold and snowy, and I also don't go into the ocean because that's where the sharks live. If I don't go there, they can't kill me. I won't even go to the freaking aquarium. It's like, hey, that glass could break. You know, ever since Jaws, I even used to look in the swimming pool as a kid, make sure there's no sharks in there. You know, yeah, yeah. But for the most part, hell, just like the banging pots and pans, um, will scare away a lot of creatures because they're not used to that sound, and we forget just how much better their ears are than ours. And those noises are like, it might be annoying to us, but man, imagine that like 1,000 times louder. How unpleasant that would be, and because their ears are so good, they got to get even farther away than we would have to be able to shut it out. Yeah, I like that stuff too, but um, no, Vic, just trying to be funny. The worst thing I've come across in the last 10 years was coyotes, and Jackie and I ran into like three of them, and I had to put myself in front of uh, him to protect him from them. But all I just did was start yelling at them, and they ran off. It was just one of me and three of them. If they wanted to, they could have made a quick meal of us. If we had to roll combat, I had a bike. I'm trying to use my bike as a shield while Jackie was behind his bike. And
I just try to imagine what song you would sing if you had to pick one, like to scare coyotes away.
yeah, if
Uh,
they started coming closer, I'd have thrown Jackie's bike at one of them. But I also carry a knife and tear gas or mace, and I sometimes an air horn. Just you never know. We live out in the desert. There's snakes, there's scorpions, there's killer rabbits, and the crows out here are unbelievable. They're the size of turkeys. I've seen crows coordinate a hunting party against like a house cat. It was freaking weirdest thing I've seen in
Yeah,
a long
crows are
time. I mean,
smart compared to how big
and
their
you
brain
could
is.
tell they it wasn't just like they were hunting because they were hungry. It was like this was personal. They were like that cat must have done something, like maybe killed one of their babies or something. But it was freaking personal, and it was like a dozen of them. And I've seen on a couple instances they do this weird ritual freaking swarm. They make a crow tornado of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them all come around to this one area in the sky, and they do this thing kind of like in that Doctor Who episode where those creatures are flying around in a circle trying to create a portal so more of them can come in or they can leave. It was weird.
I mean, crows have also been known to make art.
I'm sorry, what?
Crows has also been known to make art.
Oh, yeah, and they have sign language.
That I didn't
Like,
know, but that makes sense.
yeah, they've got they do the thing. I I've never seen it, but that's what I hear. And yeah, they are different, but we're in the desert and we have farms. Like across the way, not even a tenth of a mile away from where I live. There's ranches and things like that. Um, so and we've got some pretty wide open stretches of empty land between some of the neighborhoods, and right across the street over here, less than 100 yards, there's a big wide open space where you could hear the coyotes yipping back and forth at night. And
Shadow question: what do they farm? Are they like moisture farms, or is it not as dry as Tatooine?
no, it's more like ranches, chickens,
Ah,
cows, horses. There is a kind of a farm, and it's more of a vineyard. It's mostly just grapes, but next to it is a farmer's market where you can get like all kinds of crap, including like buffalo meat and or
yeah,
jerky and wine and
that sounds pretty great. Also, Steven, that has been proven crows do recognize human faces. They're one of the few animals who can actually distinguish a human from appearance and not like smell or something like that. So yes, you can in theory disguise yourself if you've gotten on the bad side from a crow, but once they find out, they are quick to attack you again.
Mhm. I did not fall for it, but I'm also I try to you know like I'll say hi to them when I'm walking by, because they'll be in the street trying to drink the gutter water because it's freaking 4,000 degrees out there. Um, and they'll come in my yard, and if they come in my backyard, I will close the door and not let Chewy near them because they could pick his ass up. He's 35 pounds, and one of those things could easily carry his ass off. I'm just saying. There are ravens at my lady's property. They're huge. They will push away the random eagle that will show up occasionally. Yeah, they're nothing to joke. I mean, they're and they hunt the other birds here relentlessly, except the owls, which is really weird. We've got three owls that live here, and they only show up at certain times of the year, and they have this weird triangular like roosting. One's over here, one's over here, and one's over there, and I can hear them talking to each other. I don't know what they're doing. They're definitely not hunting the squirrels because there's these two squirrels that live in the same one of the same trees, and they don't bother with that. But you'd think they would. But squirrels are also something to not mess with. But yeah, I like the idea that um, a good DM will try to come up with more than just Earth creatures to throw in their worlds. It just seems like we've got all kinds of monsters, books of plenty, but you still get your same absolutely identical. And there've been some IPs out there. I'll give it to Avatar made a bunch of creatures that were completely alien. It's like I get it, they've got a team to work on it, and Fantasy Star or was it Final Fantasy? One of the two You know, had the giant chicken things that people rode around on.
Final Fantasy, that's the chocobo, which is the giant chicken. Also, Shadow. I just remember another creature. Okay, not that original, but one another I came up with. The dire crow, which was basically crows who were first up pretty big, but what they would do was like they would take sticks and like sharpen them and then drop them from height onto other creatures and so forth.
That's awesome.
And
Is
yes,
that a
they were
real thing,
carnivores.
or is that a real thing or a fantasy thing?
I think I based them on those animals that like they don't like drop spears or whatever it's called, but they like slam things into its horns. I think I based it on that, but just made okay. What if you take the intelligence with a crow, make them a little bigger and able to carry heavier stuff? What would they do? They would probably like do like humans and yeah, kill things from a distance.
Sure. And you know, like for example, the crow or the raven. There is a subtle difference between the two. If you know, if you've ever seen them, they don't look identical. Well, how hard would it be to take either one of those, right, and modify either the tail feathers, the plumage on the head, the beak, the claws, some little detail, right? Just like a 10% or 20%, you know, like copyright kind of tweak, so you can go see it's not your trademark crow. It's 20% different. Give it a new name and go, that's what it is.
Put
You know,
put sunglasses on it and call it a crowster.
anything like that, just to you know, keep your world is you know, not Earth as possible. Just throw some things in there, and you know, a lot of people I've been talking to and whatnot, they tend to only have that one world, so they can focus more on it, make it more and more detailed and stuff like that. But they never do that. They'll do all these things about politics and you know, societies and cultures and things like that, but they won't do the most basic thing. If you're going to make a world, right? You know, whether you're a you know a religious guy or an evolutionist guy, you know, there's a good chance you know there were things on the planet that you know evolved. Let's say, you know,
And sometimes
that
spontaneous evolution is fine. You don't have to explain it.
but how hard would it be to just you know like pick the top 100 creatures on your planet, you know, start with the your actual horses, dogs, pigs, cows, sheep, all that, make a list, and then go how are mine different, right? You know, I mean, how cool would it be to make up your own species of dog or wolf or
Imagine
giraffe?
horses if they just didn't die randomly because of everything that's wrong with them. That's not our fault, actually. If you know about horses, yeah, it's not just that they're basically running on their whatever you call those fingers. I forgot what you call them in English.
Middle finger.
Yeah, middle finger. It's not just that they technically are walking on their middle fingers. It's also like yeah, when they get scared, they have a chance of getting a heart attack, or a what do you call it? Getting excited because they think they're going to die, and then find a mate. Horses are wild.
Mhm. Even if all you do is slap on extra legs, like Edgar Rice Burroughs. I mean, think of how interesting that was. You know, the four-armed ape, right? The big white four-armed ape. Those things are freaking to this day, you know, pretty terrifying. The movie, those ones, those like those gigantic versions of the same thing because they weren't all that big. Just so you guys know, the ones in the movies were like super mutant steroided out freaking four-armed gorillas. The normal ones were you know about as big as Tars Tarkus and you know, but you know even if you just did something like that, change the color. You know, okay, your dogs are all blue or red. Okay, okay, cool.
To
I'm
be
starting to get
fair,
the feel of your world. You know,
the animals don't even need to be blue. It could just be the humans in that world see like I forgot what that thing is called. Some animals and birds see, but like they also see the colors reflecting off.
Hmm.
And that's
Not sure
apparently
exactly.
why. So what?
Not sure what you're talking about, but okay.
So basically,
Like a form of
a
color
bird doesn't.
blindness.
No. A bird doesn't see a black bird. They see the colors reflecting off the feathers.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
technically, a black dog, a dog doesn't have to be what do you call it, blue. It could just be black, and humans in that world like see the light reflecting off.
Hmm.
Of course,
Giant
there's all.
skunk, sure.
Oh yeah, I
You,
wouldn't
you,
mess with
you,
a giant skunk.
you could, that would be an easy fix. My skunks are white with black tails, with a black stripe. You see this big white fuzzy thing coming out of the trees. You know, he's got a big fluffy tail with a big black stripe running down the back. Tell me people wouldn't be like, oh, it sounds adorable. Right?
Yeah. And the
You know,
worst
and then
part
maybe,
about that size is gonna be like it's not just you have gotten something in your face that's smells terrible. It's also gonna be thick because like it's scaled up in size. So you're gonna like
and if you
so
want to
you're
be
gonna
really,
like be cut off from air like a second or two, and then
yeah,
panic even more.
and to be fun, I might even, yeah. It doesn't. Well, it's stinky, but it's more like an ink cloud of green. Now
Oh
you're
no!
covered in this green stuff. Just saying.
Congrats! You now know how beavers and butthole smells.
But it always baffled me, and I'll talk about it more tomorrow. But I'm actually going to get ready to hit the road because I got to take care of some stuff. Dean, always a pleasure hanging out with you. Vic, you too. You want to throw the link or send me the link to your project as soon as it's available for purchase. Come on, we'll talk more about it and show people where they can get it and pick it up, and how you'll autograph each and every copy, signed, serial numbered from you. Um, no, okay, that's just a me thing. Speaking of which, should be getting Venger's book in the mail any day now. Kind of looking
That sounds
forward to that.
exciting. I thought he retired, or was it just like a short period where he was annoyed about Shadow
I
Dark?
think
Or
I think his retirement is impending with the
ah,
last Venger Con, and he finished this book, and we'll see. Imagine a spider the size of a Volkswagen Bug Nightmare. Yeah, that's how big my spiders are. When it says giant or gargantuan or whatever, the biggest spider, like each hit die is like for me it's like a 12-year-old kid is a hit die. So now you got two hit dice, you get two 12-year-old kids. You got four hit dice, you got four 12-year-old kids. How much space would that take up? And how can so giant spiders are not like this, like they have in
yeah,
Thailand.
yeah, I
They're
wouldn't
like
mess with a were skunk.
that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Thanks for sharing that with me, guys. I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk. I'm going to do the video about the animals tomorrow. How's that?
That sounds like a good topic. Yeah.
And I will see you guys down the road, guys.
Have a great one, everyone.
Happy trails.